Hey, thinking about buying your first Seattle or Eastside home? Here's what could cost you your dream home. Now, most buyers don't understand the critical difference between a pre-qualification as well as a pre-approval. There's a third financing level as well that not many talk about that could give you a cash-like advantage in bidding wars specifically. So if I were to ask you, what if you could position yourself as the strongest buyer even without the highest offer? Hey, it's Ravi Ramachandran with the Rams Group. We are Seattle and Eastside Realtors. We help relocating families, luxury home sellers, as well as buyers. We are in the trenches on a daily basis, helping guide families to the best possible real estate experience. Now let's talk about the 3 levels of financing readiness. Why understanding the differences is make or break in a competitive environment. And what you should know to confidently secure your first home. And by the way, if you're considering buying your first home in Seattle or the East Side areas, I'd love to help you get financing ready. My contact information is in the description below. Feel free to reach out anytime. Direct message me, text, or book into our calendar for absolutely no pressure, honest advice call about getting you mortgage ready and prepared. And here's something that might help also. I'm also a registered MLO, which is a mortgage loan originator. So if you'd like, I can guide you through the mortgage options as well. Totally optional. Just another way that I can support with your home search. Hey, also here's a quick thing. If after watching this video, if you got value, consider subscribing. We break down these insights every Tuesday and Thursday. All right, let's get into it. To start, there are 3 levels of financing: weak, competitive, and a third level, which offers you cash-like advantage. Level 1, I call a pre-qualification, the weakest position, if you will. Let us start there. This is where many first-time buyers begin, and mistakenly, where they stop. See, when you're a buyer who's just pre-qualified, you're essentially having a very surface level conversation with the lender. They'll ask about your income, debts, assets, and based on that, they'll give you a ballpark estimate of how much you might be able to borrow. It's super quick and often done online and doesn't involve verifying your financial information, assets, liabilities, and your monthly commitments. Now think of it like you're looking at a restaurant menu online. You know what they offer, but you haven't actually ordered and paid for anything. That's how I would liken it. Now, in a market like Seattle, where homes in the $600,000 to $800,000 range, especially in areas like Renton or Linwood, which have started to see multiple offers in a few cases, a pre-qualification letter carries very less weight. Now, sellers and their agents know it's not a commitment, and it doesn't give them the warm and fuzzy that you can actually close the deal. Super important. Now, I have personally seen good offers get overlooked simply because the buyer only had a pre-qual, and don't let that be you. Then let's look at level 2, the next level, which is a pre-approval. Now this, I call it the competitive baseline. Say when you're pre-approved, a lender has actually verified your financial information. Now they've pulled your credit, reviewed your tax returns, pay stubs, bank statements, and employment history. Now this also means that the lender has done their due diligence and are ready to issue a conditional commitment to lend you a specific amount of money to help with your purchase. Now this, if you ask me, is your golden ticket in the Seattle market. A super strong pre-approval letter, especially from a reputable local lender, does tell the seller that you are a serious and a qualified buyer. That's what is important to the seller. And it also significantly strengthens your offer, even if it's not the absolute highest bid. And in bidding wars, especially, we're seeing a few across many of the regions around Seattle. Having a solid pre-approval can be the tiebreaker. Now, to the sellers, it shows that you are ready to move swiftly and confidently. And this is something that the sellers absolutely value immensely. Now, this is the minimum level you need to compete effectively in today's market. As you know, real estate is hyper-local, and in Seattle, this is crucial. Then, let's talk about the granddaddy. Number 3, underwritten pre-approval, the cash-like advantage. This goes above and beyond a pre-approval. This, if you ask me, is a level that people don't discuss enough, an underwritten pre-approval. This takes a pre-approval a step further. In an underwritten pre-approval, your lender actually sends your full financial profile to the underwriter. Now, this happens before you even find a specific property. Now, this means your income, assets, and credit are fully vetted and approved. And the only thing that is left is for the property itself to meet the lender's criteria. And you're clear from your end. Now, this is the highest level of confidence you can offer to a seller, essentially turning your offer into a cash-like proposition, which is why I called it the cash-like advantage. for those targeting competitive properties in areas like Bellevue or Kirkland or even Redmond in the 800 to 1.5 million range, an underwritten pre-approval can be an absolute game changer. It also gives you an unparalleled advantage. I'm not kidding. Now, from a seller's perspective, it considerably reduces risk. And from your end, you can expedite the closing process, which is a huge advantage in a fast-paced market. Now, this is also how you win in multiple offer situations without being the highest bidder. And in several pockets in Seattle and the Eastside areas, we've already started to see more than one offer, essentially making it a multiple offer situation. In those situations, with a pre-underwritten pre-approval, you are increasing the probability in your favor of winning that particular offer that you submit. And let's also talk about why this distinction is critical, especially here in the Seattle and Eastside market, so that you have an idea. Now, it comes down to competition and perceived risk. Now, with chronically low inventory and high demand around Seattle and Eastside areas, and with the rates being the way they are, coupled with buyer fatigue, sellers have started to receive multiple offers, as we talked about. Now, with that background, sellers' decision isn't just about the highest price anymore. It's about the strongest, most reliable offer. So that's where an underwritten pre-approval comes into play. Now, a pre-qual is a red flag signaling potential delays and financing issues. A solid approval is much better, especially if it's from a local lender who understands the market. It shows that you're prepared. And an underwritten pre-approval takes it to a whole new level. That's like a VIP pass, if you ask me. And as someone who's helped a lot of tech professionals and relocating families navigate this market, I can tell you that a prepared buyer with strong financing stands out every single time. Now, you won't let any misunderstanding of these terms cost you your dream home, would you? Get prepared, get verified, and get that competitive advantage. And if you like guidance on the mortgage options, I'm here to help with that too. As I said, I'm a registered mortgage loan originator. Just another resource for you. So there you have it. Let's quickly look at what we covered. A pre-qual or a pre-qualification is the weakest position. It's just an estimate with no verification. Pre-approval is the next level, which is your competitive baseline, where your financials have been verified with a conditional commitment from the lender. And thirdly, an underwritten pre-approval is your cash-like advantage, fully vetted by an underwriter before you even find a property. Cool, right? And tying it all together, these three levels determine whether you win or lose in competitive markets. And Seattle is one such market where competition is coming back alive and well. Now, all that said, if you want a complete financing handbook tailored to your specific situation, my contact information is in the description below. Feel free to direct message me, text, or book a 20-minute discovery call. Absolutely free, no pressure, just pure information. You'll be glad you did. Let's get you financing ready to win your first home, shall we? Let's get in touch.